Hello, beautiful beginners. I had a number of you ask me about this little painting I did on black paper. And what I'll do for you is I'll offer the drawing here. I'll put it in a post. And I had only done a short, so I thought I'd go ahead and do a tutorial for you. I'm looking for the paint that I used. I used predominantly my MAB series, but I also used just a little bit of the mirror series as well. So I'm looking for that for you. 1 second. Let's see here. Look in my little goodie travel bag here and see if I have it in there. That's the golden series, which is this. And by the way, you can order that mirror series or golden series. You can order these individually. Here's the mirror series, but you can get any of these individually. So I'm just going to give these a quick spritz here, and I'm going to turn on my overhead light. Pardon me for just a second. There we go. So Brilliant Gold is one I use a lot. Now in this one, you can see it's kind of that copper color. So I did use that copper one here. I kind of tried to use a variety of those. And then for the middle pumpkin, I did use this series. So I'm just going to give those a spritz. We're going to go ahead and paint this. Hopefully you guys join me. I'm going to get my little mister. Don't want to hold it over my painting. And I am using a cold press 140-pound paper. I'll give you my link here that I ordered these just on Amazon. Stonehenge Aqua Cold Press Black. This is the Legion. I don't use it real often, but it seems like I tend to use it around the holidays. And then my gold series. Okay, so we've got both of those. Let's go ahead and draw out our little pumpkin here. I use a pencil because obviously black ink isn't going to show up. The pencil does pretty good. So I freehanded this, and like I said, I will draw this out for you and give you the sketch here. So let's start with, I think I started with the top one. So let me just sketch that out. Like this here, and like that. Oh, now see, already my pumpkin's getting a little wonky. That's kind of how I roll. I really have to go slow when I'm sketching or I'm in trouble. There we go. Maybe a few here. Like that. And then a couple in the back. And then the next one I made just a little bit bigger. So that's my middle of my pumpkin. And then we'll just go around. I'm obviously going to make this one a little bit bigger. Like that. And then my bottom one, I'm going to make quite a bit bigger. So we'll do that center like so. And I like my pumpkin spat. I really love what they call the Cinderella pumpkins. They're real wide and kind of flatter. I love those. And then we'll just add some of these leaves kind of poking out the side here. I did a flower here. I like my guidelines. There we go. And I had a couple of just little whoop-de-doos, little vines. A flower here. There we go. And I think I had a leaf coming out here. like that. Another little curly Q. And a leaf coming out here. And that's basically what I did. Oop. I want to make that a leaf. There we go. So it's a little bit different, but basically the same. So we've got our pumpkin drawn. Now I will tell you, when I use these metallics, I tend to, I'm going to raise this up just a bit. I tend to use them a little thicker than my regular paints because they just seem to work better. If you get them too much watered down, they're a little bit too transparent. So the other thing I'm going to show you, and by the way, I'm using my Meeden paints here. Love these. I just keep refilling them. I buy the tubes, so I've already got them pretty watered down here. But I'll give them another little spritz. So for beginners, if you're using this, this is the Paul Rubens. It's an absolute beautiful palette. The pans are just so creamy and vibrant, yet they can be very transparent. So I don't think I'll use any of these today, but I'm spritzing them just in case. We're basically going to be using, all metallics, but I'm going to keep those handy. The other thing I'm going to show you is, I've showed this to you in the past. If you're a beginner and you're not quite ready to invest in, you know, the more expensive brushes like Princeton, which are actually pretty good, but they can, you know, if you bought a whole set, they can be a little pricey. They're usually $7, $8 each. My goodness, I can't get these out. I just bought another set of these. I've been using the same set for many years. This is a whole set of round brushes by Degato. And gosh, you get size 0 through, I think the biggest one here is 9. I thought it was a 10, but interesting. Maybe it is a 9 is the largest one. But you get this whole set, and I'm telling you guys, for a beginner set, they're amazing. You get the whole set for like maybe $15. So I love these. They all come capped. Like I said, I just bought another set because I've been using my old set for gouache and different things. So I think for this one, I'm going to use a number 6, maybe have a 5 handy, and maybe this little 2. Okay, and I'll link this below for you. The great set, you guys. They're really snappy. They do come with a coating, as you can see. So I'm just going to rinse that, get that coating off, wipe it really good. There we go. So they're nice and pliable. And rinse that one. I mean, the tips on these are fantastic. And if you protect that tip, they're going to last you a while. All right, so let's get painting here. I'm going to start with my number 9. And if you have an 8 Princeton, that is fine as well. Let's put these up here. There we go. Okay, so let's go into our painting and we'll just start painting. I'm gonna go into that gold, really loading my brush. But you don't wanna damage that tip, you guys. So load your brush from the side, because look at that gorgeous little tip. You wanna really preserve that. And I'm going to use the tip and the side of my brush. Okay, so I've got my brush about 3 o'clock, and press and drag down. Look at that beautiful color. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm using the side of my brush here, and then I can use the tip to go into the bottom, just like that. Look how gorgeous that is. It looks like it's on fire, doesn't it? I'm gonna go in here. Now here I'm gonna use the tip. And look at that fine line you can get with this brush. Point and then press. I mean, it is precision, you guys. Please don't let the fact that they are only $15 keep you from getting them. They're wonderful. And if you have this gold series, like play with some of the others because they're all just a little bit different. See how that, if you can tell in the camera, it's just it has a little bit of an orangey color to it. So play with them all. There we go. And then I'm going to go into these two with that copper color, which is gorgeous. Loading my brush from the side. Point, press. See, I'm opening the belly. And look how beautiful. So pretty, right, you guys? Point, press. So I press to open that belly and get a wider brush stroke, but I'm also notice leaving a lot of space in there, kind of like when we preserve the white space. But look at the little tips I can get, the fine lines using the tip of my brush. Then I'm going to go into that one. I'm going to wash my brush really well. And I'm going to go into this center one, which maybe now we'll use this snappy little brush. This is a 5. And I think I'll use, I'm just going to kind of guess here. This is the Mirror series, and I'll list all these. And actually, she's in the UK. She gave me a code for all of you guys, so you can use that, and you get, I think it's 10% off. So point using this side. Ooh, look at that. I don't know if you can see in the camera, but there's this beautiful flowy shimmer. There you go. Isn't that so pretty? Look at that, you guys. And let's go in. Let's use one of the other colors. And I think I even on my original, I think I kind of mixed these, if I remember right. Ooh, look at that. It's so fun. This is like magic to me. Look at that fine line with this beautiful little inexpensive brush. So beginners, I'm telling you, if you're not quite ready to make the jump to that expensive brush, these are fantastic. They really are. And then maybe along the outer edge, let's try this. And maybe a little of that. Just mix them up. There we go. Oh, so fun. Then here, I've got a little bit of that flower petal in there. Maybe some of that gold. Ooh, look at that gold with the silver, or the actually the bronze. That's pretty. Let's get a little more of that in there. I like that. It's almost pinkish, which is really interesting. See how it almost has a little bit of pink in it? Let's see. I like that. I'm gonna see if I can even add some of that pink. Ooh, how fun is that? I didn't even do that in the first one. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a little bit of pink in there. Okay, so let's go to our pumpkin on top, and I'll go back to the gold, but let's go in for the bronze. Or I guess that's copper. Point, press. And then using the tip of my brush to kind of, like that. Let's use some of the other golds there. Oh, so fun. I love these metallics, especially on the black paper. It just reminds me of a light bright. Remember those? Am I aging myself? It looks like it's lit up. And I want to use a different color for the outer edges because, let's see, which one haven't I used? Maybe that one. It gives some contrast. There we go. Just like that. And we've got our 3 pumpkins. They look like they're lit up, don't they? Isn't that so fun? I think I will use my silver for the little stem up here. Ooh, isn't that so pretty? What a pretty card, right? And let's use a copper. I'm gonna mix some of that silver with some of the copper. Let's just see what happens. Again, I want there to be some contrast in here. Yeah. And then point press up on the tip, press up on the tip, and we'll get different colors of petals. I'm leaving a little bit of a line in there, so press and then up on the tip, press and up on a tip. Again, leaving some space in between so you can kind of see. I think I'll darken in that center, maybe even with some gold, just so it looks a bit different than the rest of the flower. There we go. Yeah. And then for the leaf, really, I didn't do this as much the first time, but I'm kind of mixing my silvers and golds. It's kind of fun. Point press, ooh, point press. So because I'm mixing my colors, I'm getting this, I can't believe I've never done this before, this really pretty blend of the golds and the silvers. Look at that. Oh, that is really pretty. Let's go for that silver again, some of that gold. Add in a little bit more of that silver, point press. See, I opened the belly. Yeah, I like that with both silver, gold, point press, point press, point press. Ooh, that is fun. Loving the variety of colors. That is so fun when you're painting. Let me hold that up so you can see. Isn't that fun? And then this brush is going to be perfect for that little curly vine. So I'm just using the tip of my brush, really light pressure, and I'm holding my brush straight up. So I'm only using that tip like that. Really light pressure. And just making it curl around. Just the tip. Like that, and then we'll go in for that last. Now I'm kind of getting crazy and using all the colors. Point press, point press, point press. Just do that a little bit more. Some of the bronze, point press, point press, point press. See that? Oh, so pretty. Now we just have a couple little leaves down here and we are about done. This leaf here, point press, point press. There we go. Point press, point press. Look at that, they look like the perfect little fall leaves. And then we've got a flower here, which I'm gonna do with a combination again, silver, gold, and point press, point press. So 2 C strokes for the petal. Point press, point press. Isn't that perfect? Point press, point press. One more time. Just mixing my colors a bit. Point press, and one hidden behind there. And then let's go into the center with our gold. Just for some contrast there. So pretty, you guys. Look at that. You could even add more down on the bottom, but I'm kind of liking it like that. And I'm done. So I will offer the drawing for this. Such a fun little piece. These paints I'm going to be using a lot now that it's the holidays. And again, you can buy the individual colors. I buy the whole pan because I do utilize them all. And you guys, I can't tell you enough about these brushes. If you're a beginner and you don't want to purchase, a whole set, this gives you 0 to size 9. And they're awesome brushes. I mean, I've been using my first set I bought for several years now, about 3 years, and they are perfectly fine. They work great. All right, everybody, I hope you have fun with that one. We didn't even use our Meeden. We just used these. And give this a try. Have some fun. I think when I hang up, I'll almost add one more flower up there. I feel like I want one more flower up there. But, take creative license. Do what you enjoy. And I'm just so happy to have you guys here. Please hop over to Patreon. You can share your paintings there, and there is a free membership. But look at that. Isn't that fun? Play, have fun, experiment, give your artwork your unique touch, and let's just keep creating here. All right, happy painting, everybody.